Senior Director of Partner Strategy and Growth. I work with many of you to help you be successful using our solution.
Hi there, I'm Amanda Tokars. I'm the Global Head of Channel Operations and Programs for SoldierFort, and we're an identity security company.
Rachel Travis, I'm the Director of Global Programs at Smartsheet. We're a collaborative work management platform.
Josh McFadden, Director of Global Channel Programs and Operations at Axonia Square Cybersecurity, company in the new casting space.
Excellent. Sorry, my daughter's calling me right now, of course. When else would she? Okay, let's start off with a question. These are some that I'm really excited for us to chat about and talk more with all of you about later. But we all know 2023 was super difficult, right? There was a lot of reduction in force, and we had to run leaner, much leaner. How did you guys handle that? And then what's your strategy for 2024 as you go forward? And Amanda, let's start with you.
So we were pretty lucky for 2023. We didn't have a reduction in force. We actually grew in 2023. And so we really focused on planning and growth and scale. So 2024, we're really focusing on continuing, our SKO strategies for automation, growth, and really becoming more of a brand in 2024. So we're really leveraging all of what we have and really continuing to elevate it. And again, we are continuing to hire in 2024, so we are continuing to grow.
Ooh, you're hiring. What are you looking for?
You.
We all are!
I hope my boss is not But really, I'm sure there's people out here networking and looking, so if you are, hit Amanda up. Perfect. Rachel.
Yeah, I think for us, we were already a lean team, so we couldn't get much leaner. But we have a guy, Mike, so everybody needs a Mike. Mike did some really creative things with our platform and then partner, and working with Smartsheet, our bridge capability to integrate a couple of other systems, really automate as much as possible to get our data right, to enable us to get out of some of the manual tasks that we all get bogged down with. So Mike's going to show everybody what he did this afternoon. So everybody needs a Mike, so go see Mike, and he'll show you what we did to integrate our portal with SkillJar and Gainsight. So certification data, bringing it into the portal, as well as customer satisfaction data, bringing that into the portal for partners. So
Definitely a session to not miss. My community.
We were basically the same, as Amanda was saying. We did not, we hired through 23. We did experience partners our partners have to do more with less. They saw churn and layoffs and things like that. So I think our biggest winners, and lack of doing a plug for a partner, what it helped us through were custom objects, which I absolutely fallen in love with, and business planning. Those two, being strategic, make sure that everything was as easy as possible, from deal registration to automating anything that we could and making them be more efficient.
That brings up another question, Josh. If your partners were experiencing that, how did you help them in those times, right? If they're reducing force, were you able to assist them in any way?
I think it just came down to letting staff member creating plans for their deal registration desk, creating plans for supporting staff where we are used to maybe partner AEs and such doing their tasks, and those are moving more AEs or having to touch more named accounts. So they have a support staff of more people helping them. So we had to make things work for that. So Optiv being one of our largest partners, we created an internal process for the deal registration team that allowed us to be able to still see who the deal registration was going to and who was working it, instead of just, here's the deal registration under the deal registration desk, well, who's working?
Right. Oh, excellent. I love that. Another topic that I'm talking a lot with clients about is your ideal partner profile. What is it, right? How are you? Do you know what your ideal partner profile is? If not, Partner Optimizer is someone you should definitely talk to. Carrie is there. But really, there's a lot of focus now on the quality of partners versus quantity, right? And how we're leveraging our quality partners and maybe some of the long tail, what are we doing with those? So, Josh, you want to start off on that one?
Sure. It's completely different. I came from a company, the last company we implemented and partnered from, we had 6,000 partners. If they had a pulse and an email address, like, you're a partner.
Yeah.
That took a lot of work. At Sonius, we know who our IPP is. We have identified that. And we're only working with 250 global partners. We'll probably grow, obviously, but we know who that is. Matter of fact, speaking with Carrie, and plug for Carrie, we're looking at our staff, our leaders feel they know exactly who that is, but because the chasm space that we're in, the cybersecurity space we're in, is so new, we're having to look for tools that will identify who's talking about what we do, and it may not be that 250, but we are doing more with more quality partners who are engaged, certified, going through our program and our journeys.
Well, and that's really the goal, right? You want those partners engaged. You don't just want the pulse, right? Somebody with a heartbeat. You really want people that are engaged. They understand your solution. They want to sell it. They want to be out there. What about you, Rachel?
Yeah, I was going to say similar. We went through a big change in our program about 2 years ago. Prior to that, it was a program on paper, but we really didn't have the rigor behind it. So we introduced a program that brought the objective nature with certification capabilities, etc., and really focused on value over volume. And I think we had a little bit of tail wagging the dog with some of our largest partners that when we said, yes, but we need to do more, that they weren't too keen to hear that. So I think we still have a bit of a motherhood and apple pie approach to ideal partner profile. Engaged, willing to invest, build services bench. But this year we are starting some pretty intense work to understand the customers that we need them to serve and what matters to those customers. And from there we'll say, okay, if that's what matters to these customers, this is what the capabilities these partners need to have. Is it industry expertise? Is it cross-functional leadership type, to be able to leverage our platform for our strategic initiatives, etc. So we're starting with the customers and trying to understand more there to help us then say, okay, beyond willing to invest and build a Smartsheet practice, what do you need to be able to do? So.
Right. What will make you successful, right? And how can we help you be successful? I think that's such a huge part, and really leveraging those partners and understanding so you can level up the next set of partners. Amanda, what about you?
So we launched our partner program in 2023, but really with the execution of it and starting in 2024, we had things on paper. We had discounts just kind of willy-nilly, but we're really focusing on driving that with our partners. And because we're in identity, we have an ideal partner profile, but we're going to continue enhancing that. Like Josh, we have about 300 global partners, and of that, we're really focusing on kind of 50, and then we'll see from there. But obviously, that will continue to grow as we enhance our services offerings, that type of practice. Also working with the GSIs, so we're really focusing on what partners can bring to us. But we also did let go of some partners as well, knowing that they weren't the right profile for us. They weren't the engaging type of partners. So,
that was like a perfect segue into my very next question.
I'm here for you.
I don't know how you did that. It's amazing.
It's like you know the question.
Although you told me you didn't take notes, so.
I
did not.
I did not take notes.
The question is, like, so once you identify, okay, these partners, they've ghosted us, they've broken up with us, whatever, the whole divorce. How did you go through that process of like letting partners go?
It was very easy. Legal wrote a letter.
So not quite like a divorce.
No, we just said goodbye.
Rachel, what about you?
Yeah, I think similar. So 2 years ago, we launched a new program. We had over 800 partners, and we fired about 550 of them. So there was a lot of non-productive, non-engaged partners. So basically what we did is say, when's the last time they logged into the portal? And if it was over 12 months ago, we said, you're on the cut list. And we said, when's the last time they did any deals? All right, more than 12 months ago, you're gone. So then we also had a few other folks that were like, you're kind of a pain in our ass. So we also put them on the cut list. And basically, we had a whole PR plan in place if they went, nuclear on us and started to say something you wouldn't want them to say. And ultimately, none of that happened. We gave them an alternate path called a distributor and said, you can still service these customers. You just will no longer interact directly with us. Here's your distributor. Have a nice day. And we never heard a peep.
And it went well.
Mm-hmm. A letter from legal said, thank you.
Certified.
I think we're more at the ghosting stage right now. Somebody was here at the party with us, and now they're gone.
Right.
And
Irish goodbye.
And let's face it, channel managers, they're like, I gotta hold on to this. I need this. They're one of my.
Or the sales rep. They love to hold on to those too.
And so going through our data over the past probably 2 months, looking at who hasn't logged into the portal, who hasn't done a deal registration, what companies had no one logged into the portal for 6 months, 12 months, whatever. And then when you bring that back to the channel managers and the AEs, are like, but they might. They might. It's like, well, they're wasting cycles for you. They don't know they've been ghosted. But of course, I'm hoping it adds some more activity for them to see if they can reactivate them.
Right.
And we'd like to have them as a partner, but we're not going to just have a partner on our sheets just to have one.
Yeah, spending time, money, resources, everything just to try to engage with someone that's ghosted you, right?
Well, I think it was for us also showing the cams how many accounts. I'm like, really? When's the last time you talked to these guys? They want to hold on to them, but when they see their list of accounts and realize, okay, yeah, you're right.
And it's also bringing the sales reps too, right? To the focus, right? The ones that are really quality, like let those other ones go, because those are really an opportunistic that we could just push through distribution. So that way we're not having to spend the cycles on all of that too. So, making sure that we're kind of all on the same page.
So along that same note, how did you automate this process? Because now that you've divorced, ghosted, whatever, have you put automation in place to do this? This is an ad hoc question. No one's prepared.
Rachel, go ahead.
We haven't automated it by any stretch of the imagination. Mike will probably do it while we're sitting here now that you said this. But, we know, okay, when was the last time these people have logged in? So like I said, we've got down to about 350 partners. We're back up above probably 450 now. But we just went through our re-tiering exercise for this year, and same thing. I'm like, talking to our channel chief, I'm like, we have about 200 partners that we could easily fire, and they wouldn't even know. Because they're not logging in, they're not paying attention. So are we willing to do it again?
And we're getting ready to implement PCM, so that way we can really track our partners and then, obviously demote them, promote them, and then those that aren't actively engaged, we can then work to automate that.
You can set up a workflow to deactivate.
Yep. And we already do that with people who don't log in today.
That's good. I'm going to. Josh, do you have any automation process for this?
No, we're actually looking at working with the channel leadership to identify a set of partner statuses that reflect what we'll write down, and then take workflows and workflow to those statuses, and based on those statuses, we'll do certain things. but we're at that point right now. We're going to have to do it for this year. Because when you tell people, well, we have 250 active partners, at what level? I'd really rather say we have 50 engaged in the trenches, digging with us, going to battle with us. That's what we want to focus on, and making sure that the AEs and our channel management or leadership all know who those 50 are. But having one category active and inactive and suspended, it doesn't really tell the story.
Yeah.
So ours will be around status that we'll create with leadership to deploy.
I love it. Okay, let's change topics a little bit. This one is really interesting for me. I think we're still trying to figure this one out. Marketplaces are this new thing, right? Where all of you guys are investing, giving AWS a certain amount of money, and partners are selling, and then companies are saying, well, I need to use my money with AWS, right? And we're kind of cutting partners out of those sales or strategies. How is this impacting you guys? Like your partners, what are you doing? Are you trying to co-sell with them in a marketplace? Are you compensating them on the back end somehow? What are you doing?
So, especially if a partner finds a deal, we're not cutting them out of the process. Now, we are a huge partner with Microsoft, so there are some nuances to that, and the way that Microsoft is leveraging their marketplace and all the changes that they're making. Sometimes it doesn't lend itself to the partner to be able to transact through the marketplace. So in that case, we will actually work direct with Microsoft and give the partner their cut and their fee on the back end because they did bring us the opportunity. However, those partners that are able to transact in the marketplace, we can quote them up and they can put it on the marketplace, and then the customer can use their max spend. We're not going to market with like, yay, go use all your max spend and make this process a little more difficult. But if a customer does bring it to us, we're not going to not go that route. So we are working with Microsoft in every way, shape, or form to ensure that the customer is happy, the partner is happy, everyone is working together.
I love it.
Yeah, we haven't run into it a whole lot yet, but one of the things that we did,
it's coming.
of course. One of the things we did do though was divorce the partner agreement from ultimately the transaction vehicle. I think that was one of the things when I joined. I was like, why did we make it so difficult? So we divorced it. So we don't really care because ultimately it's the customer's decision, right? How they have to transact. So we said, let's not limit or restrict or penalize our partners because of ultimately a customer's decision on how they transact. So that's the one thing that we tried to do just to level the playing field a little bit. But we haven't seen a significant volume of transactions being forced through the marketplaces. So.
The only one we're using right now or going to market with is the AWS. Being in such an early category, most companies don't have us on their budget sheet. They're not budgeting for CASM yet. They're starting to talk about it. How do we identify our assets and everything else? However, since there's not a budget line on it, when Axonius does rarely lose an opportunity, it's generally always because of budget. So we're utilizing their AWS spend in about 8 to 10% of transactions to be able to fund that PO through the client. But we keep the partner whole, especially if it's partner initiated. If it's Axonius referred, it's where we bring in a partner. Right now, we're 97% channel. We are a channel first organization. If you were on a forecasting call at Axonius and one of the leaders comes up with a deal that they are forecasting, it doesn't have a partner on it, you will be scrutinized really bad.
I love that.
Yeah.
Having that executive support in general is so important and sometimes hard to do. So I love hearing that. Definitely. Do you guys have any plans to figure out a way to co-sell in the marketplace? Is that something you guys talk through at all? Thought strategy? No? We'll have to explore some of that.
We're only co-sell.
Right.
Since being so much partner generated and partner led, wasn't always. We had sales leadership change, and the new SVP of sales came from Tanium, which had a really great channel organization, and he basically said that we will have a partner on every deal.
I love that. We all want that, right? Okay, next, and I see this tons too, like the more influence there is out there, referrals, post-selling, you've got 4 or 5, up to 7 different partners touching a deal. How are you guys giving partners access to this, right? Are you paying all of them, incentivizing them in some way? Are you giving them visibility into the deals? Like, how are you kind of working through that? Rachel, do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we separated the agreements from the transaction vehicle, if you will. So we are now able to understand, okay, this partner sourced this deal, but ultimately they have to transact through an SHI, for example. So we enable them to sort of tell us what role they're playing in the opportunity. Like, hey, I sourced it, but I'm also going to do the implementation, but they have to transact through this. Fine by us, right? That's only, again, the customer's decision. We're in this weird interim space where we're having to leverage the old RV objects to track all of this, but we're in the middle of making some improvements to enable us to track it at a better, more consistent level in Salesforce. But we do a good job of tracking it in partner. It's just whether there's a place for it to sit within Salesforce. So it makes some of the reporting a little tricky at times, but we're working on fixing it. But ultimately, we have 4 or 5 different roles that a partner can play on a given opportunity, as well as now we're working to capture the customer account level, not just the opportunity level, but the account level and the role that a partner plays in that account. So when we're doing joint account planning and stuff, we can see, okay, this is the role this partner plays with this customer.
So we've made a lot of improvements this past year in our Salesforce, implementing in partner, and so there might be 7, there might be 4, depending upon the opportunity. We also work a lot with cyber insurance, and that's a big partner type for us. And a lot of the times, those insurers are recommending us as part of the client's cyber compliance requirements. So they're not in the deal, right? But then we might have a partner transacting the deal, and then we might have a distributor working on that deal, and then Microsoft might have helped influence us on that deal as well. So we're tracking all of the partners, but not necessarily everyone is transacting on the opportunity. So, we want to make sure we know who's influencing. We want to make sure we know who actually referred us that opportunity, or who was the originating source, who's also transacting, how many of those are in there. Obviously, as time grows and we bring in the services organization, we'll have to continue enhancing and account for all of the partners. But right now, we're also implementing referrals, so that way we can have kind of those referral opportunities come to us. So then we can also add the additional influences as well as the transacting. So we're trying to take into account all of the partners in an opportunity, because before we weren't tracking hardly any of that. Sometimes we weren't even tracking the partner, but we were telling it this channel source. So, it was very difficult to actually know who was involved, who did this, who did that, and then also making sure, where deal work is appropriate and where it is not.
Right. It's a lot. It's complex.
It is, and it keeps just getting more and more complex.
And it will. Scary, isn't it?
Believe it or not, we moved from marking all that in chatter to this year, late last year, which is now getting operational as a custom object for what we call Pro Partner Relationship Object, and it allows us to be able to have unlimited partner associations for that account or opportunities. How were they involved? Were they an influencer? Did they transact it? We have no real plans yet to make it visible in the portal yet. But in our portal, we built it initially to where at least distributors, we have a two-tier distributor visibility, parent-child in our portal, but we'll probably end up making this object visible eventually. But right now we don't show it to them, but we are tracking it internally.
I think one other thing, once again, we don't compensate, but only one partner on our deals. So only one will actually get paid, and it's typically the transacting partner. But we do give credit towards their targets. So if you have a referral partner that referred it, but a different partner transacted it, the transaction partner will get the discount or whatever it may be, but we'll give the ARR credit towards the program status to both parties. So we will only financially, discount or pay them out on a given deal to only one partner, but we do track basically the revenue touched, impacted, whatever it may be.
That create animosity or friction? No? I love it.
As long as you're getting credit.
I mean, I want the commission, but whatever.
Hey, I wondered if we can spend maybe the last few minutes just to check to see if there's any questions, any dialogue between audience and our panel. If there's questions, this would be an awesome time to ask.
There's got to be a question or two.
Let me pass the mic here. We'll just
we can't see, so.
Thank you. Lindsay, you talked about partner profiling, identifying your ideal partner profile. I think it was Amanda who actually did that exercise. Can you share a little bit more light into that? I mean, if you profiled?
I think she had a better profile than I did.
Right, so
Yeah.
you develop an ideal partner profile, and then you compare your partners against that ideal profile.
So we're in the middle of doing that right now. So the ideal partner profile right now is how big of a practice and how many resources are you willing to dedicate to Smartsheet, both on the sales and the implementation side. Very motherhood and apple pie. What we are in the middle of now is looking at, okay, in this market, we want to be partner-led. So who are the customers, who are the accounts that our partners need to be able to engage with in that market, and what they need? What is the ask? What matters to them when they're choosing who to buy from, how to buy, what to buy, and taking that information and saying, okay, they really care about deep industry expertise, or no, they're not so much about that. They're super price sensitive, or whatever it may be, and using that information and then say, okay, well, here's the partners we have. Do they fit that profile or not? And if the answer is no, okay, we need to go find some new partners that do fit that. If the answer is yes, they fit, it's like, okay, but do we have enough, right? Do they have enough capacity? What do we need to do to either incentivize or help them build and grow so they can meet the demand that we're asking them to serve? So that's the exercise we're going through now.
And mine's a little easier because we're an identity practice, so we're looking for partners who have an identity practice. So if they don't have an identity practice, they're probably not the right fit, but doesn't necessarily mean that might not be a future for them. So ours is a little easier, unfortunately.
Great examples.
Hello.
Hi, Jane.
Hi. Great session. I'm curious how you guys have communicated to your partners. How often do you communicate out to them? So we've got all of our marketing materials and sales training on the partner platform, which is great. We're trying to drive more engagement with our partners, and our internal management is like, well, how many people came and accessed or viewed or downloaded something? And it's challenging because we can only maybe communicate with them once or twice a month. But do you guys communicate a lot more frequently than that to drive people to new assets and engage with the portal?
So my head of field channel marketing is here in the audience right now. So we try not to over communicate too much to our partners, right? Because we plus all their other vendors are constantly, but we do utilize the notification feature in the portal too, because that also is helpful because it's there. It also sends them an email, right? And it's not us directly spamming them. But we do communicate on our webinars, our newsletter twice a quarter, as much as we can without being kind of that overbearing, never stops emailing me, spamming me all the time. We're really conscious of that. And then also this year, I think too, is we're looking to feedback our partners, get more feedback. How much do they want to communicate with us? And we are looking at like news on demand, so that way we can really curate the content for them in the future and make them give us exactly what they want, so that we know how to get that information to and from them.
I have to pause right there. You said, we're asking our partners what they want. Such a novel concept. Thank you. Do you have anything to add?
We launched News on Demand this year, and so partners can declare what they want when they want it. But then we also have several other vehicles or mechanisms for them to engage. We have weekly office hours. Every region, one of my team members is on. If you want to join, great. If you don't, great. But it's just a free, open forum. We have global monthly forums. We have quarterly partner advisory councils. So there's no shortages of ways for our partners to hear from us, engage with us. We also have additional webinars, one-offs as content subject needs. We have an enablement request form that basically partners can say, hey, I'm stuck. I need to talk to somebody, I need help, or I tried submitting a ticket this other way, it's not getting a response. Can you help escalate it? So we try to make it super easy for partners to get whatever they need, their needs met, whatever vehicle that is. But we do send a lot of.
Sounds like a great relationship.
Maybe one more question, thanks.
Hi, a question in regards to the marketplace. Those of you that are transacting or having your partners transact with the marketplace, whether it be a MPO or CPO, how are you handling those reseller or listing fees that are charged by the hyperscalers? Are you passing them through to your partners and taking it out of their discount margin, or are you eating it as a company?
We're taking it as cost of sales. So I think with I think it's roughly 7 to 8% for the AWS, and we've been absorbing that as a cost of sales currently.
Yeah, and ours is like a 3%, and we take that. Yeah, we don't pass that on to the partner or the customer.
Thank you all so much. Big hands.